shall we rise for the national anthem, please? National anthem, please.
Mr. Speaker, permit me to stand on the existing protocol. Mr. Speaker, I humbly request the honorable members to allow His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Katsina State, Malam Dikko Umar Radda, to lay and present the 2025 budget. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable members of Katsina State House of Assembly, it is an honor to receive His Excellency, the Governor of Katsina State, Malam Dikko Umar Radda, PhD, CON, to the Chamber of Katsina State House of Assembly. It is also an honor to receive other distinguished personalities that accompany him to the laying and presentation of the 2025 draft budget for Katsina State as provided in Section 121 of the Nigerian Constitution. Thank you. Your Excellency, you can now lay. Thank you. Yo. Thank you, Your Excellency. You can now present the budget. Thank you.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد ونبيك ورسولك النبي الأمي. رضيت بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبمحمد محمد النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. Your Excellency, Deputy Governor of Katsina State, Right Honorable Speaker, Katsina State House of Assembly, Chief Judge of the State, ably represented here today, Honorable Grand Cadi, Katsina State, Principal Officers of the State Assembly, and all other honorable members here present, and former speakers of the State Assembly that are with us today, Secretary to the Government of Katsina State, Chief of Staff, Head of Service, members of the State Executive Council, the Chairman of All Progressive Congress, APC, our elder statesman, Alhaji Dahir Bara Umangal, GOC, Principal Private Secretary to the Governor, Permanent Secretaries, Clerk of the House, distinguished personalities that are here today, ladies and gentlemen. It is my profound sense of gratitude to Almighty Allah and deep commitment of service to the people of our beloved Katsina State that I stand before the honorable members of Katsina State House of Assembly to present the proposed 2025 budget for the consideration and passage into law. I wish to extend my personal vote of thanks to the Honorable Speaker of this House for his inspirational leadership and support. I also thank each member of this House of Assembly for his dedication to duty, concern for your constituents, and commitment to building the better future of our people. Harmonious working relationship between the executive and legislative arms of government is instrumental to governance. Therefore, I could not have asked for a better partnership. The support for this House has allowed us to drive progressive policies, initiatives, and activities that have led to socio-economic development of our state. Government only exists because of the governed. I want to thank the people of Katsina State for their patience, resilience, as well as continue to turn around the tide and build a better future for all. The support for our people remains the driving force of our strategy and execution. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, all our budgets are designed for the benefit of our people. Everything we do is for our people, and that is how we will continue to do things along as we are here. The goal of this administration is to become a pioneer for participatory budgeting in Nigeria, and that is what we have been able to achieve with this budget. This House may recall that I personally led a budget participation exercise in our 3 senatorial zones. That endeavor was the first step towards a truly people-oriented budget and the first of its kind in our dear state. Government policies and programs. I ran my campaign in 2022 on the policy and strength it in the spirit of participatory governance by soliciting our best and brightest. I continue to update our Building Our Future strategic policy in line with the new realities and ideas. I can assure this House that we have achieved many of our goals, and my administration is on course to meet and exceed its targets. Mr. Speaker, I'm pleased to report that this government has reversed the tide of insecurity, which severely threatened our peaceful coexistence as a state. Many of our local governments have been restored to normalcy while pushing the bandit to the fringes of the forest and inshallah to the end of their existence. We have expanded a lot of resources in fighting insecurity, and we shall continue to do so all we can to protect the lives and livelihood of our dear state. I thank the honorable members for their support and dedication to ultimate victory. Education and healthcare rank among the highest in achieving a sustainable development goals, and I'm happy to report that we have made tremendous gain in both sectors. We have been able to increase the number of junior and secondary schools significantly. We have recruited and trained thousands of teachers and continue to invest in reforms that will make the education sector more effective and efficient. Education is a bedrock of civilization, as demonstrated in the year 2025 budget. It remains a top priority of my administration. The healthcare sector plan of my administration is to make Katsina State a center for excellence for healthcare in Nigeria. We are committed to ensuring that our people can access quality healthcare services in all our wards while building the capacity of our secondary health institutions. We have invested heavily in building our diagnostic capacities while we continue to partner with organizations abroad to strengthen our hospital at the low cost. I'm pleased to announce that the 2024 farming season was a tremendous success, and our policy to focus on farmers has yielded results. We have provided improved seeds, fertilizer, farming implements, and irrigation pumps to our farmers. We have also increased the number of extension workers in the state to support our farmers. Our people depend on agriculture for their livelihood, and this sector will remain a priority in the coming year with new policies for mechanization, foreign investment, and enhanced coordination. We have provided unprecedented level of support to our MSMEs in our drive towards socio-economic development. This administration has been able to balance a competing priorities while also providing direct support to our most vulnerable people. Our digitalization policy has been the introduction of the Treasury Single Account and Budget and Expenditure Management System to streamline our financial system with positive results. We have digitalized our land management, hospital management, and on track to launch another solution that will bring about transparency, efficiency in key sectors of the economy. We have launched several key policies including the MSME sector, internally displaced persons, gender-based violence, public-private partnership, and climate change, among others. These policies are not a mere document, but form the basis on which we approach and deal with key issues in our state. Mr. Speaker, you were with me when we launched the Katsina State Community Development Program, CDP. I want to thank you for your support, and I also want to wish to thank all the honorable members who are aligning with our vision to make communities a part of our governance structure. Let me reiterate that our approach has been lauded and received positively by key stakeholders. It is now up to all of us in Katsina State to make it a progress high. The challenges. Mr. Speaker, we are all aware of the glaring challenges facing our country. Global and local factors ultimately affect our people and our ability to implement our projects and programs effectively. We are pleased that despite the numerous challenges, we are able to record considerable gains in all our priority areas. Wars between Russia and Ukraine lead to an increase in stable food prices, and Nigeria, being a wheat importer, was affected. Crisis in Yemen increased shipping costs and significantly, hence increased landing costs and market prices in the country. Imported inflation was witnessed across the key necessities, while other pressures have had ripple effect in our people. Nationally, we have been most affected by the devaluation of our currency, which has led to massive inflation. When I presented 2024 budget, the naira was 816 to a dollar. Today, Mr. Speaker, it is at 1,725 naira, which is more than 100% depreciation. These are the realities we face when we implement the budget. The uncertainty is not helpful, but we have managed to remain efficient. The removal of fuel subsidy has increased living costs and by extension labor crisis or labor cost. The increase in minimum wage has a significant impact on the cost of running the private and public sector across the country. Our primary concern remains the welfare of our people and supporting them to navigate the hardship facing us. Locally, our frontline local governments were affected by insecurity. Our gains in this fight has allowed our farmers to be more productive and overcome these challenges. Criminality will persist, but we are confident it will not deter us from achieving our objectives. We are working tirelessly to ensure that Katsina State remains vibrant and attractive economic for investment. Micro and macroeconomic factors were significant, and all thanks to Almighty Allah for seeing us through. We have been able to make significant gains in key sectors despite the challenges, and believe me, we will finish the year strongly. We have delivered on capital and social investment at unprecedented level, while continuing to bring new ideas for efficiency in our governance. Review of the 2024 budget performance. Honorable members, we have carefully monitored budget performance on a quarterly basis to ensure we are implementing our project and program according to the requirement of the law. I shall present to you the performance for the year 2024 compiled up to the last day of October. As you all know, the final 2 months of the year also tend to be the best performing as projects are completed, so we are expecting significant improvement over our already impressive performance. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, the 2024 budget sought to improve access to education, healthcare, water, social support, agriculture, among other objectives. We are aimed to boost internally generated revenue and block leakages in all areas of government. We have been able to make considerable progress in all fronts, thanks to the support of this House. It is my great pleasure to present the highlight of the 2024 budget performance to the Honorable House as follows. 2024 budget performance. The total recurrent expenditure and revenue as at October 2024 is recurrent revenue, including opening balance, is in the total sum of 501,833,574,609 naira.55 kobo, which represents 104%. This comprises of 273,470,699,457 naira.30 state government share of PAC, which represents 139%. 32 billion and 14,099,457.40 independent revenue, which represents 73% of our expected internally generated revenue. 188,346,573,314 naira.08 capital receipt, which represents 80% of the expected revenue. The state has a positive inflow from both statutory and special allocation from the federal account, resulting to overperformance in this segment of the budget. This accounted for the need of the two separate supplementary budget proposals to this House, which you graciously approved in July and November 2024. I'm sure it will appeal to you, Mr. Speaker, to note that for the first time in the history of the state, a state record of 139% of the park allocation was attained. The rejuvenation of the Katsina revenue collection strategies, which include, among others, opening new revenue windows, the use of the TSA, proactive revenue investigations, zero tolerance on leakages, and accountability on revenue returns have helped in promoting the state IGR performance by another impressive record of 73%. Mr. Speaker, the honorable members, ladies and gentlemen, the accrual of the sum of 181,346 million from 8 grants and capital development component of the 2024 budget is a first-setting record in the history of Katsina State capital received revenue generation. Our revenue performance was instrumental to our ability to implement impactful projects and programs for the benefit of our people. The unprecedented revenue performance was also reflected in our expenditure performance for the year. We have achieved an expenditure performance of 66.4% as we continue to complete several projects before the end of the year. We expected this figure to close much higher in our last quarterly report of the 2024. The state capital investments have a record of 60% against the revised budget of July this year. I wish to draw the attention of the House that the government has expanded substantial funds in supporting our non-salary recurring expenditure in education, operations and other social services, which include urban renewal initiative and payment of several years of pension and gratuity liability owned by the state since 2019. We plan to clear all outstanding liabilities for the state government by December 2024, for the local government by July 2025. The payments are not only an obligation on to those who give their lives for public service, but catalysts for our local economy. We also expanded significant funds on foreign scholarship to train much needed doctors and other specialists in the state. Recurrent and capital expenditure is to the tune of 319,931,944,882.40, with an overall 66.4% performance, which is broken down as follows. Recurrent expenditure 82,619,152,967 naira, which represents 66.9%. Capital expenditure, which got amount of 237,312,999,714.18, which represents 66% performance. Sectoral performance. Generally, the implementation of the 2024 budget has outperformed previous year's budget across all the critical sectors. Leveraging on the increased revenue recorded this year, It was easier for the government to implement various projects and programs from the budget as it aimed to achieve its strategic policy objectives. The sectoral expenditure performance for the 2024 budget so far is as follows. The administrative sector has an overall performance of 47 billion, 508 million, 856,405 naira.40, representing 61.40 of the revised budget. The economic sector has an expenditure performance of 115 billion, 508 million, 886,213 naira.45. And we expect this figure to rise significantly before the end of the year. Law and Justice achieved 3 billion, 48 million, 443,553 naira.71, which is 56.70 of its total reviewed budget. Social sector recorded an expenditure performance of 100.6% as we prioritize expenditure that directly impact our people. Highlight of the program and project executed. Works and housing. Infrastructure is the backbone of economic development and the key priority of this administration. Roads reduce travel times across our state, provide access to our agricultural produce, and improve the quality of life of our rural areas. Infrastructure is also expensive, but we have endured to ensure that we continue the work of previous administration as we seek to make Katsina State even more connected than it is already. We inherited a backlog of 24 uncompleted and ongoing projects with cumulative liability of 6,259,630,046 naira.10. Out of these 24, 10 were completed by previous government but with unpaid balances. We concentrated on these ongoing projects, clearing the sum of 4,846,820,642 naira.83 in their execution. Some of these projects have already been completed while others are still ongoing. The ongoing projects include rehabilitation of Musa Dangana Dan Ali and Tumaki Road, Musa local government for the sum of 450 million at 85% completion. Construction of Rima Yasukuntuni Karadua Road at Mataza local government for the sum of 550 million at 85 completion stage. Construction of Musawa Gingin Tapani Road at Musa local government at the cost of 600 million at 75% completion. Construction of Kankara Zango Ansabo Road at Kankara local government for 1.7 billion at 65% completion. Construction of Kankia Dangamo Road Cook at Kankia local government for 650 million at 60% completion. Rehabilitation of Karipi Kurengapa Tiga Road at Bako Rumalam Fashi local government area for 340 million at 61% completion. Construction of Tashar into Bariawa Sagem Muduru Road at Mani local government at the cost of 1.7 billion. In addition to completing ongoing projects, we have spent the sum of 30 billion 988 million 359,216.50 billion in the construction of new roads, which include dualization of the Ofar Soro Ofar Buga roundabout, being executed by Mothercat Limited at the total cost of 3,553,914,426 naira.60, with a progress of about 60%. Construction of dual carriageway from Dusama Road to Tumani Road to Daura Road to Ndaki Town by CCECC, Nigeria Limited at the cost of 30 billion, now at 40% completion. Another road dualization from Katsina Central Mosque over Maru Sakidis roundabout by CCEC Nigeria Limited for the sum of 14.7 billion, currently at 5% completion. Design and construction of Kadanya, Kunduru, Sakataganwa, Majanwaya Spur Road by Stantec Engineering Limited at the cost of 36 billion, 245 million, 66,746 naira point 68, which has commenced already. Rehabilitation of Shargal Leduzi Ngawa Road by Mothercat about to commence, and over 5 billion representing 40% was paid to the company. Three township urban renewal roads at Puntua has also been awarded. Other important infrastructure provided in the state are the construction of the government building across the state, where the sum of 6.9 billion was spent. Such work include renovation of the state secretariat, conversion of the state library building at the state secretariat to the Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning, renovation of the government house and the lodge in Abuja, education sector. Our commitment to education sector is unwavering and has been supported immensely by the intervention funds we have received from development partners. We have executed the following projects and programs. Construction of 44 new primary schools at the cost of 944,250,459 naira. Rehabilitation of 51 primary schools at the cost of 849,544,000 naira. Supply of 6,124 pupil desks and seat of teachers and tables. Conducting various types of training managerial capacity building for 8,913 basic and post-basic teachers. Under the Agile World Bank supported program, 45 senior secondary school, 45 junior secondary school and 30 senior secondary school were built. We just commissioned one last week. 3,000 and 2,000 teachers were trained on school record keeping, modern farming techniques respectively. 2,000 students were trained on tea bag production. The total sum of 2,159,000,000 was spent under the UBEC intervention funds from UBEC, which is the state counterpart funding. While the sum of 3,751,132,019 naira was expanded under BISDA for various forms of primary school improvement projects. Major renovation works were carried out in GDSS Funtua, Jikamshi, Ingawa, Zango, and Kabumu, while furniture were supplied on direct labor to various sum of about 452 million. The sum of 552 million was also utilized by the Ministry of Higher Education in the construction of faculty offices, wall fencing, male hostel, and other physical structures across the tertiary institutions. Under the Girl Child Education Program, the sum of 142,362,821 naira was utilized for the supply of various girl child education development activities, which includes support items including book, cash grants, uniform, and exam fees. As promised in our strategic policy, we have begun construction of 3 model schools, with one in each senatorial district of the state. This school will offer world-class education for the gifted and the best performing students of the poor entirely on merit. Mr. Speaker, our intervention in education sector is impacting positively in decongesting classroom, improving pupil-teachers ratio, increasing enrollment rate, and as much more, we are confident that our upcoming comprehensive policy for the sector will accelerate results in the sector. Ministry of Lands and Physical Planning. Mr. Speaker, many of us here know the value of land and the importance of having the right documentation. Valid land documents increase the economic value of land, makes transfer easier, allow landowners to use them as collateral, and improves legal outcomes. Therefore, we must also revisit our master plan and provide a basis for sustaining urban development for the next 30, 50 years to come, so as to have a community settlement that are designed properly and are fit for purpose. In this regard, we established Katsina Geographical Information Services, KAGIS, to be a game changer in our quest to reform land administration, and their work will undoubtedly sensitize the sector. During the 2024 budget cycle, we spent about 240 million for the first phase of the KAGIS project. An additional sum of 569 million was budgeted, out of which 75% of the work has already been disbursed for the second phase. I would like to assure you that this project will come with enormous benefit for both government and communities we serve through revenue generation, security of land tenure. You may also be pleased to know that Katsina State has spent at least, you may wish to know that Katsina State has spent the least amount to set up GIS institution in the region of this country. The government has also spent a total of 725 million to procure required machines and equipment that will allow urban and regional board to enforce any development control orders. We have also recruited professional staff to upscale the capacity and manpower of the board. We have engaged competent professionals to review the master plan of Katsina, Daura, and Funtua cities. This will cost the government about 316 million in total, of which 40% of the funds has already been disposed and work is ongoing. As we embark on this ambitious journey of our renewal program across our major cities, implementation of other development projects across the state, the government has spent over 4 billion in the 2024 budget cycle for the payment of compensation to property owners that have been affected by various development projects, ranging from construction of road schools to the expansion of Umar Musa Airport in Katsina. Healthcare. Healthcare remains one of the critical sectors of this administration. As we set out to build the best healthcare sector in Nigeria, implementing 2024 budget allow us to achieve significant milestone in our target of having at least one comprehensive primary health sector facility in each of the 361 wards of the state, one general hospital in each 34 local government areas of the state. Mr. Speaker, the Katsina State currently has the highest number of primary, secondary, and tertiary health institutions in Nigeria, totaling about 1751, out of which 85% of them are functional. Presently, the government has completed republishment of the 102 comprehensive health care centers, while 22 are ongoing and 34 have already been approved for renovations. To ensure equity and evenness in the provision of health facilities, the government upgraded comprehensive primary health center at Zango 560 million, Kafur 1.3 billion, Paskari 509 million, Charanch 1.4 billion, and Dandume 1.4 billion to general hospitals. The Ministry of Health alone, including her department and agency, has expanded the sum of 9,469,936,020 naira.21 in the improvement and provision of facilities and services in the health sector. Also, imaging center is under construction at Ahmadi General Hospital, with equipment for the center worth over 12 billion are awarded. Water resources and environment. Honorable members, it is often said that water is life, and this administration has prioritized access to potable drinking water at the time when the groundwater is increasingly becoming more difficult and expensive by our people to access. We have also focused on environment as we face the realities of climate change and environmental degradation in many of our communities. Some of the key projects in the water and environment during the period under review include upgrading of Musa Water Scheme at the cost of 367,892,293 naira.52, which has been completed. Procurement and installation of 7.5 MBA 33 kV/11 kV injection station at Ajio Water Treatment Plant for 659,839,064 naira. Construction of Anja Dam and provision and access road for the sum of 1,553,898,292 naira. Rehabilitation of the treatment process unit, laboratory and registration block reservoir for 290,356,639. Under SAWASH, the World Bank has supported the government with 5,088,175,000 for the procurement of different types of water treatment, chemicals, and maintenance of water bodies in the state. Under environment, in Acrisel Phase 2 for drainages in both Katsina and Jibia were completed, with Katsina Stormwater Project Phase 2 at the sum of 8,760,229,468.50 and Jibia Stormwater Project at the sum of 6,682,129,870.72. The sum of 82,192,314.13 was used for the production of 1,150,000 tree seedlings, purchase of pogging machines, repair of drainage, and construction of nursery line drains. The sum of 259,400,000 was used for drilling solar boreholes across the state. Procurement of 2 number SUV and 1 number 18-seater bus at the cost of 285,400,000 naira. Purchase of assorted items. Purchase of assorted items for land restoration of 1,116 hectares at the cost of 672,1,200 naira. Katsina State Storm Meter Drainage Management Phase 2 cost 959,342 naira .11 kobo. Also, a contract worth 20 billion was awarded for both rural, small town, and urban centers are ongoing in 10 local government areas of the state. Agriculture. My focus on agriculture is imperative as we seek to improve the productivity of farms, reduce post-harvest loss, and improve value addition in our farm produce. We have expanded unprecedented amount on purchase and distribution of farm input to farmers to achieve our target, and we have to thank Almighty Allah for protective farming season this year. Food security is key to sustainable development, and our investment in agriculture sector will have impact beyond borders of our state. The government has made following investment in the agricultural sector: supporting 2,040 farmers across the state to undertake dry season farming in collaboration with 34 local governments for the cost of 1.9 billion. Procurement and sale of 20,000 metric tons of fertilizer to 350,000 farmers at subsidized rate totaling about 21,436,000 naira. Purchase of 722 motorcycle knapsack sprayers and 72 for 722 extension workers at the cost of 839,021,760 naira. Supporting 4,426 women under Women in Agricultural Program, ranching development, which is at the 80% completion for the cost of 688,943,450 naira. Purchase of 400 tractors for mechanized farming and other implements for the cost of over 12 billion. Resuscitation of cotton value chain with 79,967,000. Procurement and distribution of 4,000 solar water pumps and 4,000 power tillers for 8,382,340,000 in collaboration with 34 local government areas of the state. In all, Mr. Speaker, we are happy to say that this effort, with the help of Allah, have led to the bumper harvest in Katsina State in spite of prohibitive threat of bandits on our peasant farmers. We have also achieved our promise of increasing the number of extension workers from 78 we met in 2023 to 772 today, an effort that is yielding positive results. Security. Mr. Speaker, community-driven model of the fighting insecurity has become the standard and has been emulated by our neighbors. And I want to thank the honorable members for supporting the Katsina Community Watch Corps legislation and backing the unprecedented level of state expenditure on security by any administration in this country. We have recorded much success, but more must be done to bring this menace to a complete end, inshallah. We have implemented the following measures as part of our security plan for 2024. Engage and train 1,100 community volunteers to work closely with Katsina Community Watch in various community capacities in all of the frontline local governments and vulnerable local governments. We have launched sustained joint operation to ensure a smooth and productive farming season at the beginning, middle, and end of the farming season. We conducted recruitment exercise of the second batch of the Katsina Community Watch of 550 personnel, provided monthly allowances to 1,500 vigilantes, 1,279 security support groups, 6,652 ward heads, 2,525 imams, 2,515 ladans, and 2,515 naibis. Deployed 200 additional hunters to help the community protection. Invested in strengthening our collaboration with federal security agencies as they make significant gain in our fight against insecurity in the state. Special projects. Mr. Speaker, I would like to conclude by highlighting some of the key projects and programs that are impactful in 2024. They include provision of mini grid at Government House and General Hospital Katsina at the cost of 1,792,449,322 naira.0. Provision of solar street light in Katsina Metropolis, covering about 70 kilometers within Katsina Metropolis, at the cost of 3,301,585,646.52 naira. Procurement and distribution of 69,469 bags of assorted grains, maize and millet at subsidized rate, costing about 4,690,125,735.0. Procurement of 40,000 bags of guinea corn, 40,000 bags of maize, 40,000 bags of millet, which are procured at the cost of 756 million for distribution at subsidized rates. Renovation and completion of 2 number mosques and Islamias in each local government at the cost of 102,119,002.57. Utilization of the sum of 264,289,833 on gender mainstream activities across the state. Spending the sum of 2,359,787,650 naira on various enterprise development and enhancement activities, which include provision of special interest-free loans, mentoring and apprenticeship, revival of local government poultry farming, beekeeping and fish farming, among other initiatives. Palliatives of food items and distribution of relief materials to 45,772 beneficiaries under SEMA, costing about 738,829,100. Provision of livelihood grants to over 6,300 beneficiaries in 139 communities under CSDA, KTK's program, totaling about 2,250 million. Provision of agricultural inputs such as assorted fertilizer, day-old chickens, fingerlings, and insecticides to about 8,308 farmers under the Padama KTK's program. Mr. Speaker, brief on the 2025 budget proposal. Mr. Speaker, this is the second full-year budget I'm presenting to this honorable House. I'm more confident that even that our partnership remains the key ingredient for the success of this budget. The role of the legislatures in providing oversight is instrumental to our democracy, and I remain committed to working with this House to build a better future for our people, the people of Katsina State. We have remained grounded with our assumptions for the revenue and expenditure for the coming year. All funding sources have been carefully analyzed to ensure we do not have a shortfall during the implementation. I personally supervise budget defense. MDAs were all called to task to defend expenditure in line with our blueprint and community needs. All projects and programs in this budget are for the benefit of our people, and we are committed to ensuring that these benefits reach them wherever they are. It is my honor and privilege as Executive Governor of Katsina State to present the highlight of 2025 budget as follows. Total budget size for this year, for the year 2025, is 682 billion, 244 million, 449,513,000 naira .87 kobo. The total size of the budget is the sum of, as I mentioned, 682 billion, each for recurrent revenue and expenditure with the following allocations. Recurrent expenditure has the allocation of 157 billion, 967 million, 755,024 naira .36 kobo, representing 23.15%. Capital expenditure has the provision of 524 billion, 274 million, 694,489 naira representing 76.85%. So we are spending 76% for our capital budget against 23% for recurrent. The total of this budget, when compared with that of 2024, has an increase of 200 billion, 535 million, 619,501.61, representing 40% increase. Recurrent revenue, which represents 381 billion, 337 million, 350,882 882 naira 0.64. That is, PAC component of this revenue includes, the PAC component of the revenue is 316 billion, 919 million, 336,667 naira 0.78. And IGR component of the revenue is 64 billion, 426 million, and 14,218.86. This has an increase of 140 billion, 838 million, 271,288 naira 0.41, with an increase of 36.9% on the revenue side. Capital receipt, 280 billion, 907 million and 96,627 naira 0.23. Comprising aids and grants for 126 million, 482 million, 482,627 naira 0.16 kobo. Capital Development Fund, CDF, represent 152 billion, 422 million, 616,000.07 kobo. Total recurrent expenditure is 157 billion, 969 million, 755,024 naira 0.36, comprising personnel costs. Personnel cost of 67 billion, 109 million, 306,196 naira 0.25. Other recurrent and overhead costs include, they are 90 billion, 860 million, 453,826 naira 0.11. Total capital expenditure, as I mentioned, 524 billion, 274 million, 694,499 naira 0.51. The 2025 capital expenditure has an increase of 166 billion and 56 million, 289,260 naira 0.36. With over that of 20, that is over increased by that of 2024, with a percentage increase of 46.36%. Sectoral allocations. Administrative sector has 96 billion, 278 million, 397,545 naira 0.19, representing 14.4% of the total budget. Economic sector, which has 302 billion, 246 million, 140,569 naira 0.76, which represent 44.3% of the total budget. Law and justice has 6,242,592,359 naira point 35, representing 0.1% of the total budget. Social sector has 275 billion 549 million 964,639 naira point 57, representing 40.4% of the total budget, which gives us 682 billion as a total proposed budget for 2025. Ranking of MDAs by allocations. Education is the top on the list. Ministry of Basic, Secondary and Higher Education has 95 billion 995 million 873,044 naira point 70, representing 14% of the total budget. Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock is the second on the budget, which has 81 billion 840 million 275 million 739.70, which represents 12% of the total budget. Ministry of Works and Housing and Transport has 10% of the budget. Ministry of Rural and Social Development has 9% of the budget. Ministry of Water Resources has 8% of the budget. Ministry of Environment has 7% of the budget. Ministry of Health has 6% of the budget. Ministry of Internal Security and Home Affairs has 3% of the budget, and others comprising of 31% of the total budget. Conclusion. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, distinguished invited guests, we shall remain prudent in our activities and sincere in the discharge of our duties. I task every public servant to uphold our commitment for service delivery as we embark on yet another year in office. Insha'Allah, alhamdulillah, we have fulfilled our constitutional responsibility to prepare and submit a budget for the benefit of the people of Katsina State. The button is now with this House of Assembly. We look forward to a collaborative engagement that you shall embark upon to fine-tune our budget proposal to align with the aspiration of this House and its constituents. I remain confident you will use your best judgment and you will hold us to account. I have no doubt that this budget proposal shall be quickly passed into law, inshallah. On behalf of the people of Katsina State, the entire executive arm of the government, I once again offer my profound gratitude to this House and its honorable members for their support and duty, not only today, but continuously as we implement the budget. Permit me to also put on record our appreciation to the judiciary, my colleagues in the Executive Council, the head of our traditional institutions, their Royal Highnesses, the Council of Ulamas and Christian Association, for being with us all times of need. We also enjoy the proactive collaboration of the conventional security agencies and our homegrown security outfit for their gallantry in the fight against insecurity in the state. I wish to use this opportunity to pray for all the security personnel that have been lost in service. May Allah grant reward to them from His special gifts. They embody the ultimate courage we should all aspire to in the service of our people. I extend my deepest condolence to their loved ones, and may Allah cover every gap in their lives. I have extended our gratitude to our development partners, including the World Bank, UNDP, UNHRC, CR, UNICEF, FCDO, ISBD, ISDB, AFDB, and the various international NGOs in Katsina State. Our partnership has been critical for our development, and we look forward to working closely with you in the coming year. I extend my heartfelt thanks to the engine of our budget implementation, our civil servant, who work tirelessly to ensure we perform the year in and year after, administration after administration. May Allah be your guide in the discharge of your duties. I want to especially thank the Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning for your tireless work they put in place in this budget proposal. I thank you all for listening, and I wish you safe return to your various destinations as we conclude this presentation. Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for wonderful presentation. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Katsina State, Malam Dikko Umar Radda, PhD, CON. Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Katsina State, Malam Farouk Lawal Jobi, the Chief Judge of Katsina State, Justice Musa Dalladi Abubakar, ably represented, the Deputy Speaker and members of Katsina State House of Assembly, the Grand Kadi of Katsina State, the Secretary to the Government of the State, the Chief of Staff to the Governor, Honorable Commissioners and Special Advisors, the Head of Civil Service of the State, our Party Chairman, our Royal Fathers, the Business Mogul Alhaji Dahiru Barau Mangal, members of the business community, former speakers and members of the State Assembly, gentlemen of the press, fellow citizens of Katsina State. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. I would like to begin by expressing my sincere gratitude to Allah for granting us the opportunity to witness another draft budget presentation by His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Katsina State, Malam Dikko Radda, PhD, CON. This presentation fulfills the requirements of Section 121 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The 2025 draft budget, referred to as the Budget of Consolidation, aligns with our already established and accelerating the development in the state. A review of the 2025 budget shows that its priorities, securities, health, agriculture, rural development, and empowerment. Those areas are integral to the policy and development plan envisioned by the current administration. Areas is expected to enhance the quality of life and drive sustainable socio-economic growth throughout the state. This will create opportunities and a brighter future for the state. I will commend His Excellency, the Governor, for introducing the People's Budget. I would also like to recognize His Excellency for his commitment to security. The provision included in the budget demonstrate a strong intention to combat crime and protect the life and property of citizens across the states. This demonstrates your administration's resolve to improve the living standard in the states. I wish to use this opportunity to inform the gathering that the 8th Assembly, as part of its mandate, has passed the following: Katsina State Geographic Information Service Law, the Katsina State Development Management Board Law, establishment of Katsina State Community Watch Agency Law, Katsina State Revenue Administration Codification and Consolidation Law, Katsina State 2024 First Supplementary Appropriation Law, Violence Against Person Prohibition Law, Katsina State Enterprises Development Agency Kaseda Law, the Katsina State Irrigation Law Authority Law, the Katsina State District Court Amendment Law, the Katsina State Geographic Information Service Amendment Law, the Katsina State Rural Access Road Agency Law. As His Excellency present the 2025 draft budget estimate, we recognize the significant progress made in the previous year. I would like to commend Your Excellency for fostering a cordial relationship between the legislative, executive, and judicial branches of the government. We assure the citizen that the Honorable House will carefully analyze the draft budget, conduct effective oversight, and monitor the implementation of the developmental project outlined in the 2025 draft budget once it is approved. Our goal is to turn those proposals into tangible benefit of the people, for the people of Katsina State. We commend working together with the executive arm to ensure the timely passage, effective implementation of the budget. Your Excellency, we pray to Allah for continuous guidance and protection in your effort to advance the state. God bless Katsina State. God bless Federal Republic of Nigeria. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. House Leader, I think you can call for the adjournment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Your Excellencies, my distinguished honorable colleagues, I stand on the existing protocol. Mr. Speaker, permit me to emphasize the honorable members' appreciation in the midst of dignitaries and people well represented in this august house to His Excellency, Executive Governor of Katsina State, Malam Dikko Umar Radda, PhD CON. Mr. Speaker, we have witnessed the budget presentation for almost 2 hours. His Excellency was standing and talking, which shows how energetic, how eloquent he is. And we want to, Your Excellency, aside the government house, we don't have any other place as an apex house except the assembly. We want to use this opportunity to thank you and appreciate you in the midst of people of Katsina State. May I appeal to honorable colleagues and all other dignitaries except His Excellency to stand and applaud His Excellency for a minute, please. I urge you. Thank you. Thank you. So, thank you, honorable colleagues. ‘Yan uwana ‘yan majalisa, abin da ya sa muka yi haka akwai wanda bai da yadda zai yi mai girma gwamna godiya, amma yadda aka yi haka ya nuna cewa jihar Katsina ta gode domin wannan jajirtaccen gwamna da muke da shi da abubuwan alkhairai da ya kawo da yake yi kuma da zai yi da fatan Allah ya sa albarka a cikin wannan budget. Mr. Speaker, may I call for the adjournment of this house until tomorrow, 26th of November 2024 at 10 a.m. I so move.
Honorable Challenge.
Honorable Speaker, let me stand on the already established protocol to second the motion moved by our able House leader. Honorable Speaker, I so seconded. Thank you.
Thank you. Malang Muhammad Kamis Tusama, you can give us a closing prayer, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to give a closing prayer for today's sitting. So let us join our hands together and give salat to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Sallu ala nabil kareem. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa rahim Muhammad wa barik Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama sallaita wa rahimta wa barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim fil alamin innaka Hamidul Majid. Allahumma anta ahadus samad alladhi lam yalid wa lam yulad ولم يكن له كفوا أحد اللهم أنت الذي أمرتنا بدعائك ووعدتنا بإجابتك فإنا ندعوك فاستجب لنا يا رب العالمين اللهم إنا نسألك السلامة والأمن في وطننا هذا يا رب العالمين اللهم هذا أمرنا لا يكفى عليك وظلنا ظاهر لك بين يديك أمرتنا فتركنا ونهيتنا فارتكبنا ولا يسعنا إلا عفوك وجودك وكرمك يا أكرم الأكرمين ويا أجود الأجودين ويا من ليس كمثله شيء وهو السميع البصير اللهم انصر رئيسنا وإمامنا مالن دكو عمر في هجدي على رئاسته يا رب العالمين فسبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك الفاتحة.
The House has been adjourned to tomorrow, Tuesday, 26, by 10 a.m. prompt.